Hey guys, Lunar Knight here.
And I'm his best friend, Joseph, and I'm keeping an eye on you this time, I swear to God.
What are you talking about?
Every time we do one of these godforsaken specials, and you people at home know this, it's either I end up dead or brought back to life, or sometimes both. So, what is it this time?
Right. Well, let me start this video by asking you if you've heard of the Great Bear Scare.
Uh,
Bear Scares, Latvia's #1 bear prank.
aren't we not allowed to do that joke on YouTube anymore?
Actually, it's a Halloween special that takes place in 1983.
Wait, what?
Based on the children's book in the 1970s.
Wait.
What now?
How old are you?
Okay, in order to keep this friendship intact, it's best that you not get that answer to that question. Weird weather we've been having lately. This special was aired in 1983, and I always try to watch it every Halloween. And much like the Ranging Man specials on Christmas, the stilted animation always sets smiles to my face. So, does this special hold up all these years, or am I blinded by nostalgia? This is the Great Bear Scare.
I don't get paid enough for this.
We start this special with a news bulletin from Fairbank about news of a monster invasion from Monster Mountain, presumably the mountain between Snake Mountain and Castle Grayskull.
While on the news, the mayor's office is full of bears suggesting they evacuate before the monsters invade.
I say smart bears should board up their houses and leave town now.
Like President Bear Roosevelt said, we have nothing to fear but monsters.
Just as the news was going off the air, Ted E. Bear, wait, that's really his name? Asks why they should be afraid of monsters if they never actually saw a monster. I mean, they are bears. I feel like this special's gonna end like this.
This is the real
Joey! What? So the mayor decides to have Ted go to the Monster Mountain to see if the bears should be afraid or not. Meanwhile, two monsters watch the news about how they call nothing.
That is the one weapon that will conquer the world. Fear.
Is it wrong to say that line is kind of timeless?
We then are shown the opening credits, which I guess tells us that ghosts were the one that worked on this special. Knowing this special, I would see plenty of ghosts. And I guess most of the animation was used on the opening credits and the special itself.
You could take it if you will.
And the news gives us more details about Monster Mountain.
Skull?
The news also tells us that some of the residents have already evacuated the city to avoid the invasion, as the news has an interview with the local scientist, Dr. Warner von Bear.
Please tell me that is the last joke name.
It's a Halloween special starring cartoon bears. What do you think?
While the news is going on, it turns out that the monsters are going to invade as we see into the psyche of a cat. I don't know why that sounds weird to me.
A lot of animals have dreams, right, Lila?
So Dracula decides to check on Ted E. Bear by turning into a bat.
Can pumpkin make me a bat?
Is that really hard for a vampire to turn into a bat? I mean, that's literally what they're known for.
Honestly, this could have been a lot worse. Pumpkin, make me a bat. Oh! Sorry, Bat. Why am I doing this? Ow!
Hey, boss, maybe you need more batting practice.
On the third try, he finally turns into a bat, then says this weird line.
There must be an easier way to conquer the world. Oh.
Good luck with that.
Dracula begins to fly past Madison's Bear Garden and the Vampire State Building.
Please, no more puns.
As Dracula flies through Bearbank and eavesdrops on Ted and Patty at the news station.
To find monsters up there, and then you'll be stuck with the job of saving the world. Of course, there could be a news story in that.
She just said that in front of him. He's gonna go risk his life and you only care about ratings?
Oh, come on. This is the first time you think news reporters do that to their friends or themselves.
So Dracula tries to fly back to Monster Mountain, but...
Maybe it would be safer if I walked back.
We cut to the next day as the news crew in a balloon made by Dick Dastardly announced that Ted is going to Monster Mountain to learn the truth.
Just remember now, bears are afraid of nothing.
Except Christopher Walken. You wouldn't see an MMA fighter go up to him that crazy.
So as Ted drives to Monster Mountain, we cut to Dracula walking to the mountain as he sees Ted driving his car.
Uh-oh. Hey, looks like somebody wants a ride.
And I'm sure it's safe to pick up a random hitchhiker on a twisty mountain, especially one with a cape and pointy teeth.
Wait. What? So Ted drops Dracula outside of the entrance as the Count makes a phone call at the phone booth next to the mountain.
Okay.
Dracula calls for a red alert, and Witch Hazel and the other monsters try to go after Ted E. Bear. Ted makes it through the cave and comes across some of the monsters, causing a little bit of road rage.
And stop in time.
Ted manages to escape the monsters and decides to take a nap in the middle of a monster square. That's like hiding from the Empire in the docking bay.
Ha! Dracula begins to dress up for the invasion as Witch Hazel tells them they are still looking for Ted.
We can't wait. It's almost time for the invasion.
I also have to pose for the thumbnail for this review.
Also, I've got to ask, why do the monsters have modern technology yet sound like Al Pacino going to the bathroom at Scent of a Woman?
And you think I'm the weird one? Ted wakes up to see the monsters in a monster square with Witch Hazel. And goes to get Ted and tries to look brave, and of course thinks the monsters are nothing.
Which witch is which?
Dude, I don't get it. I don't get it either.
Hazel takes Ted to the monster rally where Dracula announces to the other monsters about the plan to invade Bearbank.
Wait, I just realized Bearbank sounds like Bearbank, and Monster Island looks and sounds like New York City.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Dracula informs the monsters that they have to conquer the world before midnight. Why?
Don't know, they never tell us.
Can I get a hint or something? I mean, do they all explode after midnight?
I think that is just their curfew.
They're monsters, dude.
Just shut up, okay?
Now, I would like to show you what happens when these bears meet a monster. The bear, please.
Dude, seriously?
Hey, I'm giving you guys what you wanted.
Dracula does try to scare Ted, and...
I don't know about scares, but he got the banshee yelled down.
I don't think I read the part where Dracula screams like an old lady imitating a cat noise. Of course, Ted isn't afraid of Dracula and confuses the monster by telling them they are not that frightening, which in turn confuses them.
And the part of you that isn't real is in my mind. And it's only as scary as I make it.
Commentary? I don't know.
The monsters begin the march on Bearbank, and in the excitement, they forgot to lock up Ted in a cell. Why did they forget to do that? Remind me to never hire them to do a kidnapping in the future.
Agreed. Patty brings Ted up into the blimp as Ted tells all the bears in Bearbank that the monsters aren't anything to be afraid of. And if they show the monsters that they aren't afraid, they are actually funny to laugh at.
Laugh at them, they'll be defeated.
I mean, if you watch Nightmare on Elm Street nowadays, it's a lot funnier than you think.
The army of monsters were able to make it to Bearbank, as Dracula has to tell them to finish the invasion right before midnight. I don't get that. I mean, midnight is still dark and vampires die in sunlight, and why did you write me as a raging lunatic in this one?
Honestly, I would like to see you nitpick for a change.
And why didn't you have me rant about the animation then? Could have ranted about half the time it was stilted, and the other half of the time it was fine.
Honestly, even if the special doesn't hold up, it's still nostalgic.
Sometimes I just don't understand what your brain is thinking.
The bears began to pull pranks on the monsters as well as mock them.
Hello, hello. I'm here to conquer the world.
I know that line was just for the special, but I really want a comic book villain to say that.
The bears then pour honey on the monsters, as it me as the pun's getting worse.
Move faster! You monsters are slow as molasses. It's not molasses, boss. It's honey.
Ted notices the witches, and I swear to God, does the Transylvanian accent to trick them into crashing into different objects.
Look out, boss!
Dude!
Ah, come on, I could be a little mean.
Ted and Patty decide to turn the clock tower to change the time to midnight. No one in this universe knows what the heck a watch is, and Dracula sees that it is, in fact, midnight.
Oh no! Oh no! It's midnight. I am defeated.
The rat. I was beaten by time miscalculation.
So all the monsters head back to Monster Mountain as Witch Hazel refuses to give Dracula a ride and him failing to turn into a bat.
The agony of defeat.
That was pathetic.
Dracula managed to walk to Monster Mountain.
Now that was pathetic.
Monsters would rule the world if it weren't for teddy bears.
Weirdly enough, the Nazis said the same thing.
Was that a joke for the review?
No, back in the 1940s, there was a grizzly bear that fought for the Allies during World War II.
I actually knew that.
You are welcome to hear that. Dracula announced that he will return to conquer the world for the sequel that never came. As we are back at Bear Bank, where everyone there is praising Teddy Bear for defeating Dracula and his army.
Patty and Ted look to the camera and announce that it took courage to save the world from nothing. And the special ends on a sort of confusing message.
So that was Teddy Bear's The Great Bear Scare, a classic 1980 special.
It really shows.
Yeah, it really shows. Don't get me wrong, for a special from the 1980s, it could have been a little better.
I feel like the animation seemed a little rushed, and it caused some other parts to look good and other stuff look stiff. Plus, the designs of the bears and monster go very generic too. I don't even know what some of them even look like.
But to me, and many other people that watched this growing up, it was mostly positive. I'm not suggesting it to be remade or anything, but if you look it up on YouTube, it is a heartwarming special for little kids on Halloween.
Much like anything from back in the day, our childhood, it's definitely fun to watch a time capsule like this. Whether you're by yourself with little kids or, in Galactic Knight's case, watching it with a friend.
So if you want to watch something nostalgic, not scary but relaxing special, Teddy Bear will be there. I'm Galactic Knight.
Bear Scares, Latvia's #1 bear prank.